Hey guys, what is up? It's me, Cross Studios here, and today I'm going to be showcasing how to organize your minifigure accessories and all kinds of Lego accessories. And basically, I'm just going to be showcasing the way I do it. I'm not sure if this is the way everyone does it. I'm sure everyone has their own methods to sorting their accessories and things like that for their Lego pieces. But I'm going to be showcasing today how I do it personally. And I'm not sure if it works for other people, and maybe we can talk in the comments down below about how you guys do it. So let's get straight into it. I'll start off with minifigure parts. So one of the biggest things that comes to sorting minifigure parts is being color organized, at least for me. I color organize all of my Lego pieces, but this is basically what I use for sorting torsos and legs. So this isn't everything. I'll show you in a minute what the rest of it looks like. So basically it's one of these double bins right here. You can see on the side it has two layers right there. You can pick this up I got this at Michael's. So basically it just opens up right here. And you can see I have torsos organized by color. Now, for torso colors that you have a lot more of, most people's collections have a lot more of certain colors than others. Like for me, I have more gray and black than anything else, and also white. So one thing that I like to do is if you're looking for a specific black one, you're not going to be able to fit all of them in one thing unless you sort it that way. But one thing I do is I put high-tech torsos and like modern torsos in one area, and then I have like medieval and old-fashioned stuff in another one. Sometimes they leak over when I'm not looking, but I kind of do it like that because if I'm going to look for, say, medieval armor or something along those lines, I can simply go into this one and look for something along those lines to use for a minifigure. But if I'm looking for a high-tech piece of, or not even high-tech, just modern, I'll look directly in this one. Now for the other colors, there's not as many variations, and I don't have as many of them, so I can just sort them all into one thing. But that's just one helpful thing that I like to do when I have a lot of one color torso. Like I need to do it with the white ones, because you can see it's filled up. And the point of it isn't to fill it up, it's just to make it so you can go through it easily. So like I said, I'm probably going to do that for these two. I just haven't done it yet. Now for legs, I do a bit of a different process. And what I basically do is all of my legs, I take them apart unless there's specific set of legs that I like to have together. And I try to make as many blank Lego legs as possible. So what I'll do is if I have extra minifigure leg parts, I'll make black legs, white legs, blue legs, different kind of blue legs, gray legs. And you can kind of sort it by color code or any way you want to. Just depends on how you do it. And I guess it just depends on how much you have. So I can fill this up just because they're all the same type of leg. It's a lot easier to do it that way. You can see I have green and brown in the same spot. I have tan in the same spot. Now, you're probably wondering what all this is this is just spare parts that I don't really have a spot for. So if I ever need to find like a certain color or a random type of one of these and I don't want to take apart my colored legs, I'll just look in here. You can see how I kind of do it. It works out really well for me. And then I also have a few other areas down here that we'll check out. So basically at the bottom of this container, I like to include a few things. So I'll take any blank torso colors that I have. So this is just a blank orange torso, and I'll put it in here. Because sometimes when I'm making minifigures, I just need a very simplistic torso. You can see I have the super old minifigure torsos as well in here. So I find it useful to keep all of my blank torsos in one spot. This is brown torsos right here. I don't have a lot of them, but I also included Haggard bodies in here. It just depends on what you have in your collection, honestly, because some people have a lot more of one thing than another thing. So bunching stuff together definitely can help you as long as you remember where things are at. I think in here are girl doll pieces, but I also have like purple torsos, pink torsos, and things like that. I don't have a lot of colors of those ones. And for the legs part, one more thing for the legs. You're probably wondering where all the legs with printing are. They're not all in here. I actually keep all those in a big sorting piece. And it's just a big flat bin that I keep all of my printed legs in. So anything with printing along those lines will be in here. And I keep it in here just because if I'm looking specifically for legs with printing on them and I need a certain color, it's not too hard to go through and find all the black ones or find all the whatever color I'm looking for. I find it most easy to do it this way. Some other people might actually do it by printed legs by color and all that stuff. But I found this way just to be easy since I don't have a ridiculously large amount of Lego legs, so, like some certain brick stores do and things like that. So the next thing I'll be highlighting is arms and hands. And I keep all of my arms and hands in one area, but I do it in a certain way. So some people do it like in the way where they'll put all the color arms in one spot. So if they have enough sorting, they'll put red arms in one spot, blue arms in one spot, green arms in one spot. I don't really do it that way because I find it easier just to have it in one big thing. It would take way too long to put all those things in one spot. But you can see I do the same thing with the hands up here. But like I said, if you really want to be organized with your stuff, you can do it that way. I just choose not to do it because I haven't really had a need to. I also keep my droid parts in here too, because I kind of consider these like limbs and things like that. But one thing I do recommend doing is if you have printed arms, I recommend you keep them in one spot. Because sometimes when you want to make a minifigure extremely detailed, you want to have printed arms and things like that on the minifigure. And I recommend that putting them in a single spot is definitely one of the best things I've done for printed arms and things like that. It definitely helps me. Along with accessories, when it comes to torsos and things like that, I try to keep all of the torso accessories in the same area. So you can see I have like these little pieces that go on your back to hook stuff onto them. I have like leg flippers and things like that. I have these to go on medieval characters, and I also have like backpacks and stuff in here. I also have these high-tech backpacks and scubas and jetpacks and stuff. So I try to keep all that stuff in one area. It helps me stay organized, and it helps me realize where everything's at. Because if you keep everything that's related to each other in one area, it helps you way more when finding things and making minifigures. So that's definitely one thing I like to do. So the next section we're going to be looking at is heads. And this is actually my most recent sorting section that I've done. And you can see I have a ton of minifigure heads in here. And you're probably wondering, like, in what way I actually organize these. So, for me personally, I haven't gotten down to micro-organizing my basic yellow heads yet. Now, these basic yellow heads are all male heads. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a sexist statement. Why aren't the female heads in there? That's not why. It's because Lego doesn't make as many female minifigures, so if I want to find a specific female head, I need to be able to look in a spot to find it instead of looking through a giant thing of pieces up here. So what I like to do is I keep the female heads over in this one spot, so if I ever need one, I can just go right in here. And same thing, this is the male heads up here. You can see the disproportionate difference of how many Lego has made. One thing I also do, I haven't done the same thing with the flesh heads. I try to keep these in one spot because sometimes when you're making a theme, you want to stay consistent, or you want to stay consistent like if you're making minifigures related to each other. Like you don't want one minifigure to have like this, and then the other minifigure has this one. Like I try to stay consistent with what colors I use when I'm making Lego sets, and that's just generally the rule I go with. I keep all brown, tan, and different flesh color heads in here. That's one thing I do to help organize as well. And I also keep molded heads in one spot. Now, I don't really use these almost ever, but I do want to have a specific spot for them in case I ever do want to use them. And then you're probably wondering, what is this? Now, this bin is specific for old heads. Now, what I mean by an old head would be something like this, that is pretty much discontinued, isn't really used anymore. I mean, it doesn't have to be discontinued, but they're just heads that are older, and you will probably not see in a set ever again. And I like to have those in one spot. These are typically like early 2000s to 90s heads, and that's typically, I like to keep those in one spot in case I ever want to use them. And then for the rest of the heads, I just kind of do it by color. These are all like different color heads in here. I don't have a lot of them. I just keep them in this one spot. I've got gray over here. I've got black here. I've got heads that don't have anything or are clear. So these are like gray, plain red, plain black, and also clear in here. And then over here I have white. So these are mostly skeleton heads, but there are some other ones in here, like that's Voldemort's face right here. There's a ghoul face and stuff like that. So I guess it just depends on how you want to organize it, but this is how I do it and how I get, how I'm able to go through and find minifigure heads efficiently. And this style seems to work for me. So the last section I'll be going over in this video is how to sort your helmets, hats, and hair. Now, this is one that I've struggled with for a long time because certain hair pieces and hat pieces are super bulky. They take up a lot of space. So I find that grouping certain things together and not grouping certain things together definitely helps with that. So I'll go over this one first because this one is like the main one that I have and the one that has the most things. So basically I'll organize the hair by color. So I have brown hair in here that's male or female. Same thing with black hair, and then I keep blonde and red hair in here, and I try to keep all that organized. This should be in here, but this is all blonde and red hair, and also yellow hair as well, red hair. You can see all the different kinds we got in here. And then right here, I've got white hair and any other color hair. So you got some pink hair right here, all kinds of different things. So I try to keep it all organized by color. Like I said, it helps me greatly when I'm going through and trying to find things. So in this bottom corner, this is kind of an example of what I mean by grouping things together. So if you have a lot of, say, these hats, and you also have a lot of cowboy hats, but you don't have enough space to make different things for each of them, I just kind of group them together because if you think about it, they're similar in shape, and I try to keep them in the same area just because they don't take up a ton of room. So if I put them all together, it's easy for me to go to that one spot and remember, oh, this is where these type of hats are. So it just depends on how you want to classify and organize it as long as you can remember it. Another thing is I've got ninja masks in here, all kinds of ninja masks, even the half wrap masks as well. Over here I've got like medieval helmets and knight helmets and things like that. So these are like more medieval than anything, so like barbaric helmets. This is more like the knight helmets up here. So I kind of like organize them like that. Like this is like a Roman helmet, so this wouldn't go with like the medieval knight helmets because medieval knight helmets have a disproportionately larger amount made in Lego. At least that's what I think and what I've gotten. So I could try to keep all of those separate just so I can get to them a lot easier. I have one spot for beards and things like that, and like little face things. Like I said, I could have put the ninja masks in here, but ninja masks, I could just group them with the other ninja masks. So that's what I ended up doing. I've got these type of helmets in here, and I also keep visors and anything like that for those helmets over here. So if I want to make a knight's mask, I could just go in here, find a little knight thing, and then put it on one of these. So it's very easily accessible. And then the last thing I keep in here is hoods. This one's filling up pretty quickly. Hoods are a very interesting piece, and they're super cool, so I'm going to have to expand this. But like I said, it's all about organization and me being able to find the parts that I need to make the minifigures. So we have one more little thing right here, which has the rest of the helmets in it, at least for now, unless I expand it. And like I said, this is where a lot of grouping comes in. So up here, I've got a lot of high-tech helmets and just weird helmets in general. So you can see I've got... This is like a high-tech helmet in a way. It just depends on how you classify your pieces, honestly. Like, you could consider this a high-tech piece. You consider Star-Lord's helmet a high-tech piece. I guess you could really consider this if you really want to. That's where I had it. But like I said, it's all within one spot, so I'll be able to find it anyway. I've got these type of helmets in here. I've got pirate hats and do-rags and things like that in one spot because I kind of classify those under the same area. Over here, I've got like animal type of helmets and things like that. So I try to keep all those in one spot. But you can see the way I organize things. There's hats. These are all bat helmets. We have a lot of bat helmets. These are all Star Wars helmets, I'm pretty sure. Or no, these aren't all Star Wars helmets, but they're like this type of helmet. These are Star Wars helmets right here. Same thing with this one. I think these are all mutilated. I think that's the reason they're in here. Wizard hats over here. I've got tiki masks and things like that in this one spot. You can see kind of like Islander masks. This is kind of one where I bunch stuff together. You can see like a type of traveler's hat and things like that. I keep these in there. They're all very similar. So I guess the gist of it is to group things together that are similar. If you have a lot of different small categories, you might be micro-organizing a little too much. So sometimes just take a step back and try to organize different things into one spot so you can remember where they're at least so you can get by and do what you need to do. Alright guys, that's going to do it for part 1 of this series. I'm going to be making more in the future, and I'll be explaining how to sort your minifigure weapons, accessories, tiles, different parts with printing and stickers and things like that on them. I'll be detailing all of that in different videos. I hope you enjoyed. Tell me what you think in the comments below and how you organize your pieces, because everyone has different methods. I just choose to do it this way because it works for me when I'm making my mocks and things like that. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon, and take care.